Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to ServiceNow 911. Today we are discussing a special series which is of domain separation. It is a long pending thing which I want to share with you, but today I got a chance, so let's start with it. Let me share one PPT with you. So first of all, we start with what is a domain separation. Okay. So when we say separation, it means keeping away one thing from another. Why we are keeping things away from each other or away from someone? The very first reason, for security reason, they are not authorized to see it. Or secondly, complexity, to reduce the complexity. Third, necessity. If that thing is not for you, why should I show it to you, right? So all these three basic reasons support domain separation. We are separating the domains within a single organization. So what is domain separation? It is a process to separate data, process and administration tasks into logically defined domains. It is also known as multi-tenancy. So basically we have an organization. That organization has multiple departments, or there may be other categories within that organizations. But due to all three factors which I mentioned, mostly the security factor, okay, due to the security factor, one domain do not want to share the data from another domain or another department. So in that case, ServiceNow provides an opportunity is known as domain separation. ServiceNow tells the customer, okay, you want this separation, so we have this option known as domain separation. You can have separate domains and you need not to bother about each other's data, processes and any kind of administrative task. So look at this diagram. This complete box is an organization, for example. And under this we have two domains, domain A and domain B. Both of the domains are separate from each other. Okay, they have everything separate. Nothing is common in between these. But we have one more domain known as a global domain. So now you will ask, is having a global domain mandatory? Yes, it is mandatory, because although the departments want to separate their data and all, but there are certain common functionalities for sure for any company, right? For example, if you want to apply for a leave, why should you have a separate leave portal for these two domains, right? So such kind of common things will be under global domain. Apart from this, there are certain platform level things which are used in global domain, which are there in global domain. For example, like security aspects, login rules, these all things are very platform dependent thing, right? So ServiceNow will provide these things to each and every domain as well. So that's why we have this global domain and it is mandatory. So now let's move to the second slide. Here you see why to use domain separation. Again, we already discussed, but these are the bullet points. So the first point is, if you need to have a data segregation between different business entities. So this is the most important driving reason, because we want to separate the data between different business entities. Let's say in a company there are two verticals. These two verticals are totally different and they do not want to share the data. So that's it. We want to have domain separation there. Okay. Second point, if you need to customize business process definition and user interface for each domain. So obviously when we have a separate data, separate domains, we have to define separate things. We have to define separate processes for these domains. Third point, if you need to maintain some global processes, global reporting in a single instance. So this is again based on the business plan. In order to reduce the complexity, you want your data to be separated, you want your business data to be separated, but again you want certain things which should be common, so you have to follow that architecture, and domain separation is best for that. Fourth point, if it is required to have a separate data between service providers, customers, partners and sub-organization. So in case of ServiceNow also, there are n number of partners, there are n number of service providers, there are n number of customers. In order to maintain all these entities under a single instance, you can use domain separation. This is the best use case for any domain separate environment. In case of ServiceNow support, that is high portal, you can see you have the credentials like you. There are other customers also which are managed under a single instance only. Last point is, if you have minor or moderate process difference among the customers. So here ServiceNow is hinting that we are not authorizing or we do not recommend highly customizable domains. If you have minor or moderate process differences, then you can use it. Okay. So now let's discuss the pros and cons of domain separation. The pros is obviously it is cost efficient because we are managing everything under a single instance. Okay. as well as we need less time to upgrade because each domain has its own responsibility. That's why the complexity is not there. That's why the managed thing are there. That's why we need less time to upgrade. Then we have the centralized administration. Obviously, the global domain is the centralized administration here. The system admin will have full control on the domain. Then we have the data segregation. This is the main goal of this domain separation. Next, we have the cons. It has an impact on global customization. The global customizations are now very less because if we want to have a common ground, if we want to have some common things in place, we need to take approvals, we need to do all kind of compliance and everything with respect to both the domains. That's why having large or many customizations in global domain is not recommended. Next is domain separation is not suited for complex business processes. As I mentioned earlier, if you are thinking that you can separate your domain and you can have a very huge customizations, that is not recommended at all. In this case, the system will not behave the way it should behave. Okay, so you have to have limited customization and use out of box processes just to separate the data. Then we have the clean separation. Yes, when we say domain A and domain B are different, it means there is no integration between these two domains. You cannot see the data, you cannot see the processes at all. There is no a common bridge between these two. Okay, so in this case you have to take care in future if you have any such thing, then you have to find out some new measures to do integration between these two domains. And last one is it is not suitable for every customer. So this is also right. You have to do a complete due diligence before opting for domain separation. You must have your objective clear. Okay, I want domain separation with this. Okay, you should consult ServiceNow based on your business objectives, based on your business goals, what you want to achieve by using domain separation. The ServiceNow will be happy to guide you whether it is recommended for you or not. So these are the few advantages and disadvantages of domain separation. Then we have how to install domain separation plugin. So obviously this is a separate plugin and it is chargeable, but in demo instance we can use it free of cost. So this is a simple plugin. Okay, com.glide.domain msp extension.installer. So you can go to your developer account, from there you can install domain separation. When you are installing it in the demo instance, make sure you activate it with demo data, because once you have the demo data it will be easy for you to understand the process. So I'm stopping this video here. I hope you understand the basic meaning of domain separation. In next video we will go in deep, we will install the plugin and we will do some practical. Okay, so till now understand what is domain separation and install the plugin. I will see you in next video. Till then, thank you so much. Bye bye.